big win to start and the buzz of the home opener Saturday?
Yeah, good. I mean, we had 2 days to reflect, right? Because of the travel and the routine of this week, how it was going to be periodized. You know, speaking from a self-centered point of view, I needed these 2 days, right? We needed the 2 days to make sure that we swallowed that, forgot about it, started off the week with a new clean slate. And I think the players felt that too. It was just a ton of energy, ton of emotion, and that game was pretty exhausting, right? So from not just a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint too. And we got out of that game pretty good in terms of you know, personnel and what have you. So yeah, excited for the week. The boys have put in a ton of work yesterday. Today we came down a little bit, and we know what this game is going to bring, right? We have a sense and a feel for what Charlotte will bring, and we know, you know, against the run of play against New England, we thought they were well worthy of to get something out of their game, especially their home opener. So you know, we have to be just as prepared as them, and if not better in many aspects.
Could you talk about Kyle Hebert, about like his journey from MLS Next Pro to now starting on Saturday night in his development, like through preseason and
Yeah,
his future?
I mean, Kyle Hebert had signed before I think he got signed in the December of 2021. I arrived in the January of 2022, and credit to John Hackworth, right? So John Hackworth spoke about Kyle Hebert, went undrafted, so we had him in our preseason, and he similar to a Miggy Perez. You put him in an environment, he performs and outperforms that environment. So we saw through Next Pro levels that he was very, very comfortable with the demands and the challenges we put on him. And I know, working with very talented center backs over the years, speaking about an Aaron Long, you know, and even a Tim Parker, when they joined us at the Red Bulls, we knew that this style of play suits center backs with a certain quality. So being physical, being athletic, strong in the air, so willing and able to defend forwards. So we saw a lot of these good character traits, positive traits in him, and put him again in a big game in Austin. He didn't blink an eye, right? So he didn't get caught up in the moment. He just carried on his job as if he was playing for the college team, or you know, whether it was Next Pros or with us in his MLS debut. So yeah, very proud of these guys who have just stepped up to the plate.
Next we go to Daniel and follow up with Corey.
Coach, Charlotte aside, tactics aside, Austin obviously from an emotional standpoint was such a big game for your players. I've got to imagine this first home game will be even bigger of an environment to go into. How do you prepare them mentally or emotionally rather? Going into this?
I think we've been preparing. The club has been preparing for 3 years, right? We've been preparing for 6 weeks, but we've had the opportunity to prepare for this for months and months and months, right? So I think there were 10 or 12 guys that have been here on the field that, you know, played against Austin from last year already. So preparing for this moment and kind of taking it in our stride, right? So for sure it's going to be electric, for sure there's going to be energized, for sure there's going to be a lot of people, right? So but I think we have a tough mental group here, and the demands and the challenges we throw on them every single day, whether it's training in tight spaces, whether it's challenging each other in the video room, whether it's coming up with certain, you know, leadership games or something, you know, off the field where we really challenge each other. I think this is a special group, and I think you can see the togetherness of everyone on and off the field.
Is it more containing the emotion or just taking it in stride and saying, hey, this is a big moment, we gotta get excited?
I don't think if you ask any player, the minute he steps over the white line, whether you play in front of an empty stadium, whether you play with fans, or, you know, I've just managed always as a player to filter everything out, right? So you don't get caught up in that moment, because if you do, the moment will swallow you up and you'll forget about playing soccer. So if you feel you've been prepared enough and you feel that you're ready for the moment, I think it's easy to adapt to the sort of expectations in the outside world. So you can kind of blend it out. And I think the more you're prepared, or the more that you are prepared, the easier it is to blend out certain situations. So, you know, we'll let that party happen around the field, you know, because it's going to be a celebration. It's going to be a party, right? But for us, it's almost business as usual.
Corey?
Coach, you've been in the community now for a while. Just what do you have to say about what this moment is going to mean to all the people who have waited so long to finally see this happen? Yeah,
it's getting closer to home, right? So if I leave the door, you know, at my house, I can see, oh, another day there's a new flag. I go down to the grocery store, and people, not even involved with me, I can hear people, the chatter around the community is incredible. And then you see the public viewing platforms that we had while we were playing away. I mean, packed, people standing, no spots to sit down, you know, everything was full. And then the day after, the bakery, you know, my local bakery, like people are there dressed in city gear. So it's truly humbling, and you know, this should drive the players, this should drive us every single day, and this gives us a sense of purpose for sure.
Lutz has coined, he wants to make this the gateway to hell for opposing teams. How do you go about making this one of the toughest places to play?
Well, sticking to our principles, right? So for us, it's principally based, and yeah, we don't want to get caught up too much in those emotions of what we're trying to do. We just have to, we know Charlotte are going to pose us a couple of problems, especially with the physical aspect, and we have to match them physically on the day because they do bring a lot.
We'll go to Julian, then Santi, then Tom.
Coach Carnell, you know Charlotte has a Premier League proven player, Ashley Westwood, sitting in that 8th position. How important is it going to be for you to keep him out of the game, keep him off tempo?
Yeah, listen, I mean, he has a lot of qualities, right? He can dictate the play of the game. He can dictate the tempo of the game. He can bring Juzuak and Swiderski in the game too. So with Copetti running in behind. So he's, you know, we have to take time and space away, right? And any good player, if you give him time and space, he can punish you. If you take it away, good players can look average. So it's our job to work as a collective to close down a lot of good areas on the field because they have a lot of good weapons. So I said earlier in the opening statement that yeah, I think they deserve more on their home opener.
You were talking earlier about your principles and sticking to them throughout the game. Do you ever game plan for a specific player to try and keep them out, or do you always just stick to your principle and like make them game plan for you?
Well, there's nuances, right, within the game plans. With the principles are different from the tactics. So the tactical point is getting players in certain positions, but the principles are what they do in those positions, right? So for me, that's very important. And dealing, you know, with a Bronico or dealing with a Westwood, there's two certain principles to deal with these two types of players. So Swiderski floating between the lines, there's a different principle for that one. So, you know, we have to be very aggressive. We have to be truthful to who we are. We will step up and we'll defend forwards. We'll be brave, and we want to create havoc. We want to create chaos and turnovers and execute then accordingly. And I think our third goal was one of the best moments of the game, and the players got stronger towards the end of that game, which is a huge relief for me, knowing that we're on the right track after like a grueling preseason.
Santi?
Randy, when you started with the team back in January 2022, did you think that you were going to have 3 players making their professional debut, their first division debut during the first game?
Well, I know that these principles reward almost a naive approach, right? Don't think, just do, right? If you start thinking too much, you start doubting. And, you know, there's a lot of good moments that we've seen from these guys and growth moments through the year, right? So did I think it? I have to be confident in the principles that we work by and to say, yes, expectations were there to try and produce homegrowns. Was the progression really that forecast that it'll be so quick? I don't think so, but I'm a guy who rewards players who are bought into the principles, right? So why look elsewhere than we can promote from within? And the guys we promoted from within are performing to the standards that we set, right? So I think it's credit to the club, credit to Lutz for the vision that he had to get me in a year early, right? The vision that he had to bring certain players, the vision that he had for the academy and the pathway. So it's about a process. And we spoke about success in the preview last week, and we said it's a process, right? If you build the foundations and the pillars of success right, then it follows on for many years to follow. So which for me, you know, it's just now that it's all said and done, we've played one match, and again, that's all we've done is played one match, right? So we can dream and forecast and predict and plan, but yeah, there's 34 games in this season, right? There's Open Cups, there's Leagues Cups, so there's a lot of opportunities for us to get it right and wrong. But after one match day, we feel, you know, very confident that we're on the right track.
So
We'll wrap
before,
up. Oh, go ahead.
before the game against Austin, last week you talked about the team working on set pieces. If we go back to the game, that first goal, Team Parker, was that a prepared set piece?
Well, I think every set piece you see us take is prepared. You know, the guys do an excellent job, and they, when it doesn't work, they're watching the video. If it does work, we're looking at the reviews and seeing what helped us to get these moments. So it's little tactical nuances. It's little moments of what the opposition is going to give us. And it's a lot of hard work off the field of play. So when you see what the end product is, right? But you don't get to see behind the walls what the guys are investing off the field to get these moments right. So credit to the coaching staff, credit to the players for taking these steps seriously.
We'll wrap up with Tom, Phil, and then Tom.
Coach, since day one, Lutz, the entire organization has been talking about team identity. You're going to see this team, you're going to recognize the way they play. What did it feel like to stand there on the side and watch the team play the game to perfection almost? The not the game itself, but the philosophy, the identity. It was like, okay, here it is, right?
Yeah, listen, I don't think it was perfect. I think there's many moments for us to grow, and that's the part of the process, right? And if you look back, yes, for sure, we're all proud, right? I think Lutz is like a proud dad. Maybe I'm the proud uncle. I don't know. So, but sitting and standing on the sidelines, it's an amazing, humbling feeling, right? When it all comes together. And I wasn't happy with many moments of the game, which is just my standards and my expectations. And I'm glad that way, because if you start feeling all happy and cozy on cloud 9, then the game will swallow you up and spit you out, you know? So I never get too comfortable, and we're always looking for ways to improve.
Phil?
When people heard that we were going to be a pressing team, they assumed energy drink soccer, and yes, to some extent, but some people are noticing that it wasn't just a straightforward Red Bull, press and send it forward situation. Can you explain, just with us, maybe a little more nuance, as much as you're able to, what your system is, and is it similar to what you did when you were the head coach or the coach over at New York Red Bull as well?
Yeah, I think it's slightly different, right? So now becoming an interim, the team is already in a way, right? The team has already been molded in a certain way. The philosophy has already been ingrained since 13 years or whatever it was, right? So you kind of just continuing the pathway, creating a new team from scratch. You are able now, to dabble a little bit of both sides, right? There's all the 4 phases of the game, and Roman sitting in the room here, and he knows, one way of the game, and also he's really good of the expression of the game with the ball, right? So we're finding a marriage between my philosophy and the talent that I've been given, and we've scouted in terms of on the ball attributes, right? So we're trying this whole marriage of these phases of play, and it's a great little moment for me as a coach to develop even one more step, just to know that the quality on hand that we do have, we don't have to shy away from anybody, right? We can break teams down, we can build up from the back, we are able to go a little bit more vertical when needed, but we will still be a very transition-minded team, and I don't think that's a secret, right? So, but the likes of Jabulo Blom, Indy Vasilev, Eduard Löwen, these are different thinkers in the midfield. And then you bring a Miggy Perez who plays like an old man at 17, right? He never gets caught in possession on the ball. So we feel we're very comfortable in certain areas where we can demand more from ourselves with each phase of play.
I'll ask two. Updates on Vasilev and Jensen?
Yeah, Jensen took a knock on his ankle. He's still nursing the knock on his ankle, so he should be ready. He should be available. Indy Vasilev had numerous mask fittings, so he tried a few masks today. He's ready. I mean, he'll be good to go.
And when you walk down the ramp from the practice facility through the tunnel, what do you think when you come out here on the other side and see the stadium when you make that walk from up the hill?
I mean, it's a comforting walk, right? Coming down into our living room, just coming into where the action happens, and to see everybody working tirelessly behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff going on. So while we're trying to perfect our product, on the field, in those white lines, I know there's people emptying the tank every single day to put out a product that we all sit back here and be happy with. So we're happy we're hopeful to reward the fans and the people who work at this organization. And this is our purpose every single day, just to give those around who empty the tank.
Recording stopped.
Coach, thank you for taking the time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys, Roman Bürki's here. Tom, give it the first.
Roman, kind of the same thing I asked Bradley. When you walk down the hill from the training center,
to here and you get the first glimpse of the field or whatever, what do you think? What's that walk like, and when you see the field out there, what do you think?
I mean, it's a great feeling, and it's a sign that we are getting closer to the first game at home, and we are all really excited. For me, it's like something special, you know, to play the first game in a brand new stadium of the season, the home opener. We know all that on Fridays there will be a big party before the game, and hope a lot of fans will have fun. But then on Saturday it counts, so we will be ready.
And what do you think it's going to be like Saturday night with a full house and everything?
Yeah, I mean, that's we expect a pretty loud atmosphere that pushes us. I mean, it was a pretty cool atmosphere in Austin too. But this time we have the fans on our side, and let's see how it turns out.
Joey?
Bürki, how did as the leader and the captain of this team, when you see a young kid like Mini Perez make his MLS debut, do you tell him anything after the game? How do you try and keep him humble, and how do you see him in training throughout the week after an experience like that last weekend?
Yeah, look, maybe the performance of Mini Perez was new for you guys, but I know what Mini can do. I'm talking with him a lot. I like him a lot because he's always as a number 6. I need this connection, like Coach said. I like to play with the ball in my feet, and that's always like number 6 is a very important position for me to go and play out of pressure situations, and he's always there. He knows what to do, and that's why I talk a lot with him, and he knows that he's a really good player, but we need to keep him on the ground.
How do you do that?
I mean, just like sometimes if just the slightest quality mistake, I will probably shout a little bit on him, like, come on, it has to be better, and then he will try to do it better. And he's a really good guy.
Santi?
Roman, does the home opener bring additional pressure for you guys, or do you treat it as another game?
I mean, I can only speak for me, so I'm excited. I don't feel pressure at all. We had a pretty good game in Austin. We won, and of course now the expectations are a little bit higher than before. Before the game in Austin, nobody expected nothing from us, and now, like I said, we won against Austin, against a good team, and now the expectations are higher from outside. But I'm confident in our team, in the club, so I'm just looking forward to playing in front of our fans.
Court?
Pretty much everything you guys do this year is going to be a first and make history with everything you do. Do you feel that kind of weight of history and going around town seeing just how excited everybody is?
Yeah, we definitely feel it. So the first win, the first game, the first win in the league. I mean, a lot of things. We were a lot of mouths. You know, they were talking about us, and we were the first team since LA to win the first game, and it means a lot. It's a cool thing, but I mean, I have to see it a little bit more as it's soccer. You know, it's soccer. That is the most important thing. When we cross the line, we have to see it as soccer. We have to win the game. We have to invest. We have to think about, what the coach told us to do on the field, our principles, and don't think too much about the surroundings. You know, what is going on. It's the first time. It's nice for the fans, for the club, but we as a player, we need to stay focused.
What have your personal interactions been with fans out and about? I'm sure you're starting to get recognized quite a bit now. What have your interactions with fans personally been like?
I would say most likely it's when I go where I live, the elevator. People are like wishing me good luck, and they tell me that they are so excited to come to see the first game in the stadium, and that's kind of it. Yeah, it's nice.
Tom?
So what's the last thing that you're going to tell the team in the locker room before you take the pitch?
Well, I don't know yet, but I mean, probably that have fun, enjoy the moment, something like this.
Cool. Thank you.
Joey?
How do you stay focused after a game? Like you were just saying before Austin, nobody thought you guys were going to win. Austin's one of the better teams in the league, and you guys beat them. To now going against Charlotte, a team who didn't make the playoffs, probably isn't as good. How do you approach that type of game, a team that's maybe not as good, and try and stay focused and think that there is a possibility that you guys still have to play just as well to beat them?
There is not just a possibility, this is facts that we have to play at least that good against Charlotte, like we played against Austin. We are a team, we live out of like intensity and duels and just mentality, and we need to bring the same energy and everything on Saturday on the field to have a chance and to win the game.
Tom.
Roman, how did you feel about your game on Saturday? You haven't played a whole lot over the last 18 months or something. How did you feel?
I felt pretty good, to be honest. I had a good feeling before the game. I felt confident. Also with the guys, with the number 6s, the connection was here, and we had a good relationship with the ball in our when we had the ball. And I mean, 2 shots, 2 goals is unfortunate, but this is the life for goalkeeper. Sometimes you have the chance to save something, sometimes not. The most important thing, and what I was celebrating, was the win with the guys.
We got time for 2 more. We'll go to Phil.
It seems like you have a great relationship with Klaus. Can you talk about his game? And as an aside, have you begged him to hook you up with an assist this season?
So yeah, Klaus is a nice guy. He came like on the same time to St. Louis, and yeah, he worked a lot in the last game. I was a little bit surprised, to be honest, because in the preseason games, I was thinking, yeah, maybe he's just tired from the trainings. But then in the game in Austin, he worked a lot. When I played the long high balls on him, he would try to cover up the balls and did a pretty good job. And the last action, the goal he scored, you could see after the goal, he was done. He had no more energy. That shows a lot. And yeah, it would be nice if I can assist him. Yeah, at one point.
Wrap up with Tom.
Are there things that you like about this stadium that you just like, whether it's the locker room or the field? There's things that you say, this is a really nice.
I like the locker room a lot. Yeah, and the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grass.
It's a good surface?
Yeah, it's good. Before it was a little bit soft, but now I was walking on it. It felt better, and I think it matches our play style.
Roman, thank you for
Recording
the time. I
stopped.
really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we'll kick it off with Tom and then go to Tom.
And what's the experience when you walk into the stadium and you kind of come through the tunnel and you can see the field out there? What comes to mind when you walk out here, come down the hill?
I mean, it's amazing. The atmosphere against Leverkusen was already great.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, I love the style of the stadium. My wife is studying interior design. She thinks it's also very good. I think this should mean something. And also, it's gonna be a full house for sure, and the fans will go crazy. We will expect that. And as Roman said, the pitch is also very good, very nice. And I think everybody is so excited for this game against Atlanta. It was already nice, but without fans,
Mm-hmm.
so it's going to be very different than on Saturday for sure.
Mm-hmm.
How many crosses did you make Saturday night? Was it under 100? It was unbelievable.
I can't remember. I'm thankful my quad made it. We had so many set pieces, but yeah, it was quite a lot for sure.
Were you happy?
Yeah, of course.
With your, I'm sorry. With your crosses were divine. I mean, in my opinion, were you happy with them?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very, very thankful that we could score. With the goal with Tim, he made it very good. Yeah, had some good movements. Shook his guy off. I mean, in the end of the day, even if I make good crosses, it's the guy inside who have to take the opportunity and make it very good, and Tim did it. And I hope that we will score even more goals this whole season through the set pieces, because it's not done. It was only one game, but I'm thankful, yeah.
You had 8 corner kicks in that game. Just
8?
Nice.
Santi.
Edu, does winning against Austin, which is one of the top teams in the conference, change anything for you guys in terms of how you approach the game against Charlotte?
Absolutely not. It will be completely the same. It's a different opponent, different style of play, the way Charlotte plays for sure, and we will be prepared for that. But in terms of mentality or something, we will prepare the same way we do, because anything else would be arrogant and very haughty. You know, just because we won one game, we are very happy. But we celebrated a few days, but then starting from Tuesday, we knew now it's Charlotte, and the game in Austin is kind of like we want to take the confidence out of the game, but pretend like this game is done, you know. So it's the second game now, and yeah, that's how we're approaching it.
Corey, and then we'll go to Julian, and then go to Phil.
Kind of like I asked Roman, do you guys feel the history of being the first team here? Everything you do is a first. Do you kind of feel the history of being a part of that?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. As I say very often, it's crazy, and so yeah, I enjoy it a lot, and I'm so encouraged that supporters on the street, you know, fans on the street are talking to you and just saying how excited they are, and you can feel that the whole city is behind us, and that's very nice, you know, that you really feel the support from every side, you know, and it feels like not only we have a good team and a good team spirit, but in the whole club, you know, all the staff members. It's such a nice atmosphere, and it's so nice to come here every day, you know, to come to practice. Like I enjoy it every single day, and I'm very thankful for this great atmosphere, and I hope we can keep this the whole season.
Edu, on Charlotte, they have a midfielder, Ashley Westwood. He used to play in the Premier League, and then you used to play in the Bundesliga. When you go against another midfielder who's of that type of quality, do you get excited, more amped up to playing a game like that, or do you approach it like any other game?
I mean, for sure, it's always special if you play against other good players who also. I mean, Premier League is one of the best leagues, if not maybe the best league in the world. So I respect that for sure. But in the end of the day, I try to respect every player. You know, it doesn't matter where he played. And I mean, obviously, if you make it to the MLS, you have to be a good player. It doesn't matter where you played before. But in the end of the day, I try to focus on what I can do and try to give my best for the team, and not focus too much on the other opponents. You know, I mean, Austin, they also had some great players. You know. But yeah, it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
And just positionally, how important do you think your guys' battle is going to be, and how big of effect is it going to have on the game?
Yeah, I think already in Austin it was very important. Yeah, Indy was a little bit unfortunate that he broke his nose and had to go out. But when Blom came in, he did a great job. And I mean, obviously it wasn't easy for him. He came here in the middle of the preseason, came from South Africa, had to settle in. But he did very well. I think he's a very good player, and defensively, but also with the ball, and he gave us a good structure. We were very compact with him. So I think in this game it will be also very important in the end of the day, in every single game, because we are trying to control the game defensively and also, you know, in the offense. So it's very important that we will make a good job on Saturday.
Go to Phil and then Dan.
Speaking of good players on Austin, it seemed like you had some defensive responsibilities with Drusy, so I wanted to see if you could talk about what you did and how you approached him in this game.
Yeah, honestly, I have to give the most credit to Bradley. Before I was a little bit, I don't know, skeptic, but in the end of the day, his plan totally worked. You know, he wanted us, the 2 6s, not to connect too much, to shift too wide. And when I did it two times, you know, they just switched aside, found him in the spaces. So I tried to stay every time more a little bit on the left, what he told me. And so they didn't found him in the, you know, dangerous areas. I mean, the goal, he made it amazing. There was an incredible touch, incredible finish, but it was a deep run, you know. But as I said, in the end of the day, Bradley did very well tactic-wise. So I have to give the most credit to him.
And did any of that change when Vasilev went off and Blom came in?
Not really. I mean, I stayed the most of the times on the left side. Then we switched a little bit. That Blom could take these runs a little bit because I was a little bit exhausted. Yeah, but I think we did very well, and I think we also deserved to win the game. When you see the stats as well, I mean, they were up 2-1, and it looked kind of like I don't know if we can come back into this game. then we scored the second goal. We were very pushed, you know, and then I think it was a deserved win for us.
After the game, you and Cal Hebert went over to the sideline and celebrated with a couple fans. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but those crazy people were my family. And they were so pumped to see you guys. When you think about the fans, obviously in Austin, so few of them, how special was it to go over there and really engage with them, and how much more excited are you for Saturday when you come and the whole stadium is packed with all your fans?
I mean, first of all, you can tell your family they should keep going crazy. We will need this in the game. I mean, as I said, it's just incredible. It's amazing, the support when you are just, you know, out in a grocery store, I don't know, out for a walk, and people are telling you, you know, how excited they are and that they are supporting you. So that means a lot for us. That means a lot for us that the city is behind us, and it will be very important, as I said, on Saturday as well. Yeah, Carl's family was also there. He celebrated with them, and I think it was for him a very, very special moment as well. First game in the MLS, he did great. We won the game, and I think it couldn't be better for him as well.
We'll go to Julian and wrap up with Tom.
You guys had a pretty long preseason where you're getting the hang of the play style and the identity in the system, and it was pretty grueling. How did it feel after that Austin game to see it all come to fruition and to get a W after that?
I mean, we had many different opponents in the preseason. I think we did very well, but we conceded way too many goals, especially through set pieces. I think we conceded in preseason like approximately 9-10 goals, which is insane, you know, way too much. And then in the Austin game, we defended very well, set pieces. I think there wasn't even one quite dangerous moment. So that was a huge thing for us, you know, to progress. And I think we did very well. We made a good game, as I said, and we were suffering a little bit sometimes because Austin, you know, is a very good team with the ball, very good. But as I said, at the end of the day, we did a good job. We were also more clinical in front of the goal, what we missed a little bit in preseason. Scored 3 goals. You have to score 3 times in Austin. And as I heard, Austin lost like 2 games, home games last season. So I think that's a huge thing for us.
Hey, what did you learn about this team from that game?
About Austin?
About your team?
About my team? Yeah, I think mentality-wise, that you know, we didn't let go. You know, we didn't let go. We were 2-1 down, and it didn't seem like we could come back into the game. And then we came back, and then we won in the end of the day. I mean, there was a class moment of Klaus. I mean, in this situation, I think it wasn't even a real chance, but he made out of nothing almost, you know, a big chance, scored, you know, and we won the game. But I think everybody underrated us. Now everybody knows that we can keep up with everybody and that we can compete. But in the end of the day, as I say always, it doesn't matter how much quality we have. It doesn't matter how good we played in Austin. It's a very long season. We have 10 more months to go, or even longer. So we have to keep going. We have to keep going and stay humble, work hard to keep our mentality high, and also to stick with our principles.
Thank you.
Edu, thank you for taking the time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Recording stopped.